Today, I'm going to be speedrunning Mario Odyssey Tile Man. This idea is directly inspired by a lot of YouTubers where the entire game of Mario Odyssey has been broken up into tiles that can only be unlocked by collecting coins, purple coins, and moons. I've already played Mario Tile Man before, so if you haven't already, I'd recommend watching that video first. But today is going to be a little bit different because I have optimized this game mode to be beaten as quickly as possible. So in the original, where I did my best to play by the rules, today instead, I'm going to be going fast by any means necessary. I probably put in around 40 hours just trying to figure out the best route to make this all possible, so I hope you like what I came up with. Enjoy the video. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, today we are doing a speed run of Super Mario Odyssey Tile Man. I did a video not too long ago where basically the entirety of Mario Odyssey was broken up into tiles that we could unlock by collecting moons, coins, and purple coins. It's an idea inspired by the mini Tile Man sort of video game challenges you'll see on YouTube, like Settled's RuneScape series or others like it. But today, instead of having it be some casual thing where we're figuring out stuff on the spot, we are doing a speed run. I have gone back through the entire Tile Man challenge in Mario Odyssey and routed it down to a very difficult speed run where I've optimized what purples, coins, and so forth I need to collect to beat the game as fast as possible. And just for the fun of it, the time I am comparing against on my splits is my casual playthrough. So we can see just how much my optimization, great optimization there, just how much my optimization saves compared to my first time at the challenge. But yeah, like I said, this does end up being a pretty difficult run. There's several hard tricks in it. So at this point, this is already my third attempt. If this is the one you're watching on YouTube, that means I got it on my third attempt, but it could be worse. I hope this is the one I get to post, because this stuff is hard. Nofer, why did you tell them our secrets? It's important. I need people to know I worked for this. But yeah, because Cap Kingdom is the first kingdom and there's no moons, basically all the routing in here boils down to collecting as many coins as possible, as quickly as possible. And that's really all you can do to save time. We should end up finishing this kingdom like several minutes faster than I did casually. And the main reason for that is just the knowledge difference of knowing like, okay, I need to go out of my way to get these tiles and coins and stuff, or else I will just not be able to finish the kingdom. Like our coin count's gonna end up being like pretty close to perfect here, where I just unlocked the last tile I needed to finish. You can swear there aren't normally all these perps. That's true. So in a normal playthrough of, this is actually an awesome thing to bring up. In a normal playthrough of Mario Odyssey, there are no purple coins, moons, or anything in Cap Kingdom. So what Amethyst did to make Cap Kingdom a more interesting challenge was add in all the purple coins from post-game to give like us as a player some routing options and some decisions to make to get through the kingdom. And I think that makes it pretty cool. There's other small things like that throughout the run, but most of the time you're not even going to notice it. And in case you're wondering why I didn't go out of my way to grind extra tiles in Cap Kingdom, tiles do not transfer between kingdoms. Every kingdom is its own individual puzzle that I have to solve. So when I was going through and making the route, I basically found the path of least resistance through every kingdom that could be done quickly and routed it as its own individual thing, kind of like in a normal speedrun. Like what happens in Cascade Kingdom usually doesn't affect what happens in Sand Kingdom in a normal like any percent speedrun. There's some exceptions to that, like with coins and stuff for buying moons, but it's the same with this run. So there'll be like small things where it's helpful for me to like have stuff going into a kingdom. But it does not matter nearly as much because we collect so much coins. You don't really need to go out of your way to make sure you have enough coins to buy shop moons. Like I had to collect, I don't know, probably like 80 coins or something. I don't know the exact number to even beat Cap Kingdom. We're not going to be stressing to purchase shop moons at any point in this run. If you spend money at the shop, does the counter for the tile unlock go down? No, it doesn't. So tiles are like a completely different currency you unlock by getting coins. You're not spending coins or moons by unlocking tiles. Also, we can do a little clip there through the tiles to hit the loading zone early, just with a little roll boost. Fun little trick. In the original challenge, I tried to cheat as little as possible. Since this is a speedrun, I will be cheating to save tiles as much as I want, because I think it makes it more interesting in the speedrun to be able to like have no limits for that sort of thing. I think it made for a more interesting routing challenge on my part. All right, so now that I've gotten chomped through the rocks, I have enough tiles to unlock the dinosaur. And because chomp through the rocks opens up tiles towards the boss fight, I can now use the dinosaur to do dino skip and start the fight. Oh, oops, that sucks. There's so many little tricks that are more finicky in this challenge just because of all the tiles spread throughout. All right, so I need to be really careful here not to take damage because I need coins to unlock one more tile. And I can only get those coins by grabbing that heart. And if I'm at 2 health, the heart will not give coins. But yeah, now that I have unlocked that center tile, I have everything I need to beat the kingdom. So I don't actually have to go out of my way to grab these coins right here. Because the moon's going to spawn in that empty tile. And I can collect it and then move on to Sand Kingdom. So overall, a pretty good cascade. I think it's kind of funny how it's like not that much slower than, like it is slower than a normal speedrun, but like you don't have to do anything too crazy. Just like grab some extra coins and that's it. Like we're not going that slow. How long did the route planning take? I figured it would be some like easy, like several hour thing. And then I spent like 10 hours just figuring out how to route Metro Kingdom on its own. So the answer is a lot. I don't know how long it took, but this took way more work than I thought it was going to. All right, Sand Kingdom. Sand Kingdom's kind of nice because there's just a ton of moons and purple coins available right at the start in town. So we can basically just unlock a ton of tiles and then go straight to the inverted pyramid. So routing this kingdom was actually pretty easy compared to others. Also, I can do a little trick where I can clip into tiles by capturing the wire. We're gonna be unlocking this tile anyways, but it's a little easier to make sure I get the bird if I just clip in there. Are the tiles bigger based on kingdom size? Yeah, the tiles vary in size depending on the kingdom. And that's mainly because of like memory. Like not every kingdom has enough memory to allow like super small tiles everywhere. So like the size of tiles, how many tiles moons are worth, how many purple coins give a tile will vary from kingdom to kingdom. And it's all just like a game balancing thing that all goes back to like kingdom size and like what can you even put in the game before it crashes. Yeah, once we come out of here, the seed is going to be grown. We don't have to do any switch clock shenanigans because seeds just grow automatically in the challenge. Shout outs to Amethyst. All right, we're going to be doing that wire trick again. This time it actually is going to save unlocking a tile. I'm going to be honest, I don't even think we need to save that tile because once we beat Harriet, having enough tiles to beat the kingdom isn't that much of a concern, but it does help. If everything goes according to plan, I will have 0 extra tiles by the time I'm done with the kingdom. Yeah, right now we're just making our way to the inverted pyramid and we're gonna grab a couple moons on the way. Again, we really don't have to go out of our way to get any like extra things here. Basically every tile I unlock is necessary to beat the kingdom. We don't need any extra moons other than the 16 required to normally beat the kingdom, which isn't going to be true for every kingdom. Not every kingdom you're able to beat just by getting the required moon count. That's going to be especially true in Metro. Metro is pain. So we're going to open up the Sphinx here. This is just a really nice thing to get because it's, again, essentially on the way towards the inverted pyramid. And all these coin stacks in here give a couple of tiles. So it ends up being a very profitable tile to purchase. So now we are coming up to the annoying part of the run that I really wish I didn't have to do, but I have to because of how much time and tiles it saves. In a lot of Odyssey speedruns, you'll do a trick called IP clip, where you clip into the door of the pyramid. Other speedruns, you'll do a trick called IP skip, which is infinitely harder and skips going into the pyramid completely. Amethyst patched out IP clip when making this, but she did not patch out IP skip. If I can do IP skip, I will save about 25 tiles in like several minutes. I cannot express how shocked I am that I got that on my first try. In my little notes I have for the run, I have told myself I can spend as much as like 3 to 5 minutes on that trick and still save time and have it be okay because of how hard it is and how important it is. So, okay. That trick sucks, but yeah, it unironically like saved 25 tiles in a ridiculous amount of time. So I'm very happy. Now I just need to not choke because the run is still hard. I'm not out of the woods. That's the hardest trick in the run, but there's still other hard tricks that could kill the run or lose several minutes. So I need to lock in. So at this point, I basically have every single moon and tile I need to beat the kingdom. So we are basically just going to use the tiles I already opened to get beneath the inverted pyramid. We're skipping this moon because it's slow. And then we're gonna go straight to Knuckle-Tech, picking up a couple coins and 2 moons along the way. And now that we're going to Knuckle-Tech, I think now is a good time to mention, in a normal Odyssey speedrun, you can just leave the kingdom when you get the right moon count. In Tile-Man, you need to beat the kingdom. You need to like finish the story. If you don't finish the story, the game will not let you leave. So it is a forced world peace speedrun instead of an any % speedrun. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna grab a life apart. This is helpful later for coins, because a life apart, if you collect it when you have 6 health, is worth 10 coins. I had to Google life apart locations in Mario Odyssey for this speedrun. That's something you never have to do. All right, I need like 2 more coins and then I have enough tiles to beat the kingdom. All right, there we go. Such a random place. Yeah, I didn't know it was there at first. Originally, I was buying a life apart from a shop and then I'm like, wait a second, this is stupid. Why am I buying this from a shop? Yeah, we're gonna have the perfect amount of tiles to make it into the Knuckle-Tech fight, beat the fight, and collect the moon. I'm really flexing too with how much my like meters for coins and purples are filled up, showing you like, yes, I did work on this. I tried hard with my routes. I'm a good speedrunner, guys, trust me. All the sloppy movement you see is just a result of Tile-Man making things weird and not because I'm washed. Please believe me. But yeah, this fight at this point is just the normal Knuckle-Tech fight. Oops. You can tell I'm still nervous from getting IP skipped so fast. And the main reason for that is the fists can just go through tiles. They don't unlock tiles, which is something some captures can do later. But yeah, they do just let you go through them. So we only need these 2 tiles to be able to finish the fight. It's kind of funny. If we like couldn't go through tiles with the fists, I wouldn't be able to finish this kingdom with just 16 moons. I would need to get like extra to make this this sequence possible. It's honestly like crazy how like coincidentally so many things just work out in this speedrun. It's really cool in my opinion, but maybe I'm just saying that because I put the work into it. Also, as we're going into Lake Kingdom, something I want to mention that I haven't mentioned yet is dying in Tile-Man is very unforgiving because it's the fail-safe, basically. If you die, you go back to 0 moons and the kingdom resets. And this is like to prevent you from putting yourself in a situation where the only way of progressing is by grinding coins in a really slow way for a really long time. So I have to be really careful to not die throughout the entire run. Also, I split slightly late. Oops. But we're an hour ahead of my casual playthrough, which is crazy. Okay, so Sand Kingdom's another like really precise kingdom where I can't really skip any coins or purple coins. I need to essentially get every single available coin until I reach a certain point in the kingdom. I don't technically need every single coin, but I basically need every single coin. Those coins that I just grabbed normally aren't there, that were just like sitting there. I don't know where those came from. I think like a crab died or something. And I just want to say, I'm very proud of the route I put together in Lake Kingdom. And you're going to see why in a second. Because Lake is like pretty precise. So I'm going to open this tile up early. I need to not take damage here because there's a hurt I can grab right in these question blocks. And that's very helpful. But yeah, this trick right here. Oh, no. I almost screwed it up. You can do a cap return rainbow spin. Wait, why isn't this working? Give me a second. Oh my god, I'm choking. You can do a rainbow spin right there off the tile because you can't wall jump on tiles. They're just sort of walls that push you to get back here without opening that extra tile there. And then the coins from that little line give you just enough to unlock this moon. And now with the 2 tiles I have, I can do lake clip. And we have to do lake clip a little bit different. Oh, we have to do lake clip a little bit differently than normal because of the tiles. So we still go over here. We still go up. We still cap throw up to get the checkpoint, but you need to dive hard to the right because you can't clip out over there because there's a tile. So now we gotta go down, make sure we don't clip back in bounds, open up this tile, 2 tiles, so we can get to the chest and then warp back up. It's so convoluted and strange. And like, maybe it's not that weird watching it, but like figuring out this is the way I want to do this was so weird. And now that we have the lake clip moon, it's basically a free shot to Rango. So we're gonna open this tile before I fall because you can't throw Cappy multiple times in the air. We're gonna capture the Cheep Cheep. Cheep Cheeps are a little weird because they can't open up tiles, but they're like faster in water. So like sometimes we use Cheep Cheeps in water, sometimes we don't. It's like impossible to tell what's faster. So something I do know is faster is if you mash A while throwing Cappy in water, you can throw Cappy a little faster. We're just gonna do a little jump up here. And we're at Rango. So yeah, you'll notice I have like an extra tile still. A lot of kingdoms have like a point where you need to do everything exactly. But once you get past that point, you just have all the tiles in the world. Like you don't need to worry about anything. Anyways, we're going to Wooded. I think I'm an hour and a half ahead right now. It's a good thing I'm an hour and a half ahead because there's a trick here. If I mess it up, I lose like 2 minutes. And ideally that doesn't happen. All right, so kind of like before, start of Wooded, I have to do everything really specifically. Also, something cool happens here. We aggro the bunny from here. The bunny can walk through the tile, but now when we open the tile, we're gonna be close enough to the wall that the bunny can't go through it anymore. Because like the way that walls for the tiles work is they basically only exist when Mario is close enough. So we can do little funny things like that. Sometimes the tiles are solid for enemies, other times they're not. All right, so we buy the shop moon. There's gonna be a set of purples behind the shop, and there's gonna be 1 extra coin stack I need to grab. But if I do all of that, I'll have just enough to get to Nut Clip. And Nut Clip is sort of what's going to push us ahead in this kingdom and make everything way easier. So yeah, we need 2 tiles. This will unlock the Nut Clip moon. If I mess up Nut Clip, I'm gonna lose like 2 minutes because I have to restart the entire kingdom to respawn the moon. Fortunately, pretty easy trick. So now, while out of bounds, I can get this moon. All right, I had to do that a little careful. I almost fell there. And we can keep climbing up. Like, we're basically just doing... I don't actually know if this is the current any percent route, but we're basically just doing an any percent route here because the tiles in moons it gives us access to are pretty nice. All right, so we're gonna open up tiles into the invisible maze. This is nice because there's a moon in here, but also because these are the same tiles at the top of the kingdom we need to get to the final boss. So it's actually really nice that I'm doing these because it opens up tiles later, which actually isn't something that comes up much throughout the run, but it does come up in Metro. All right, we're gonna open up this tile early so it's easier to do Flower Road skip out of this moon. And would you look at that, I got it. Okay, so we just go straight up here because there's no reason to really go into the tower. And now we can fight Spewart. And once we fight Spewart, tiles basically don't matter anymore. Like, Spewart gives 3 moons. We already opened up tiles that directly help us get to the final boss of Wooded Kingdom. So from here, it's just going to be like a mad dash to the end of the kingdom. So this is the part where things start to feel really good from like a routing perspective, because all these tiles that I already unlocked are just going to let me get like right to Spewart. You don't need to unlock this tile, but again, we're so rich on tiles right now, it's just easier to unlock it and just climb up this way. And look, these are already all open, so I can start shooting right away. And I can already get right into the boss fight. Bro is showing off, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit. It's not often I get to do content that like isn't more of a casual playthrough. All right, so we have 8 tiles going into the Torque Drift boss fight, and I need to unlock at least 4. I've been doing 5 because it makes the fight a little easier, and a little easier should result in a time save. So none of these blocks move during the first phase, so we don't have to worry about them moving into like tiles I haven't unlocked. But now that we're in like an auto scroller section, I can just unlock these last 2 or 3 tiles, and now the fight is just a normal boss fight. All right, one more phase and we're good. I'm very excited to see how far ahead I am after this kingdom, because Wooded is not easy. It's not easy at all. All right, 1 hour 54 ahead. Not bad, not bad at all. All right, going into Cloud Kingdom, it's gonna be one of the only like tileless kingdoms in the run. Actually, it's the only tileless kingdom in the run. Tiles break the Bowser fight, who would have guessed? The splits are so insane. I mean, I just really wanted to compare against casual. Like, is it a fair comparison? No, that guy didn't know what he was doing. But it's funny. I think it's funny, and that makes it worth it. Sometimes you just gotta dunk on your past self to prove that, like, you're a better person than you were before, you know? I say that like I'm ever gonna beat my normal any percent PB in Mario Odyssey. There's some things I did in the past that I'm never gonna be able to do better. There goes the heartwarming message of Cloud Kingdom, I guess. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, Lost Kingdom. This one sucks. I didn't like this one. Okay, I guess I should clarify. There's like basically one way to do this kingdom at the start, and I don't like it. Like, you are required to get these purples, and then you are required to get a total of 9 coins. And most of the coins are just invisible coins on these trees, and they're annoying to grab. And that lets you open this tile, which lets you grab these purples. And then we open up this tile early just to make the like little meme tree skip a little easier. And then we grab this moon and we warp out. It is possible to do this without a warp, but it sucks. And if you die, the kingdom resets. So like, I'm not doing that. It's not worth it. Also, you may have noticed moons in this kingdom worth 1 tile. Not great. All right, so if we grab those coins from that heart and get all 4 coins from these blocks, we... Oh yeah, and don't forget the Pixel Mario. We have just enough coins to get to this moon. And now that we've made it to this moon, normal yellow coins don't matter on this kingdom anymore, because the moons and purples on our path to get to 10 moons give more than enough tiles. We're gonna go up here into the shop. buy the shop moon. Then we're going to go outside, open a tile, get a moon. Then we're going to go a little bit further, open a tile, get a moon. There's a lot of grab a moon, get a tile at the start of this kingdom because you just get one tile per moon. It didn't leave for a lot of flexibility with the choices I could make. Like, there still were choices, but I don't know. There weren't any crazy, there's not any like crazy decisions going on here. Especially because like you technically don't need to make it anywhere in Lost Kingdom like you do in other kingdoms. You just need to grab 10 moons, then you can leave. Okay, let's go up here, grab the moon, open the tile. We're gonna walk by Klepto so Klepto doesn't steal my hat and make this a whole annoying ordeal. And then we open up this tile, aim Cappy over there. We wanna make sure I don't get too close to the cage so that the enemy can clip through the cage. Clip through the tile and hit the cage. And now, only needing one more moon, I can open up this tile and collect it. All right, and there we go, we're good. Finishing Lost is nice for that reason I said earlier of dying, resetting the kingdom, and being a massive time loss. Because it's easy to just die in Lost Kingdom. But we're done, and look at how far ahead I am. 2 hours and 3 minutes. Dude, how did it take that guy nearly 3 hours to beat Lost Kingdom? I don't get it. All right, so if you didn't watch the original Tile Man video, Metro Kingdom, kind of weird. And it's for like game balancing reasons. The kingdom doesn't have tiles set up until you get to daytime. But because it doesn't have tiles set up, there are absolutely no purples in the kingdom or no moons, with one exception. The shop moon is available. So we are going to buy the shop moon. But other than that, I just need to make sure I grab enough coins to unlock about 2 tiles. And the reason I'm doing this is if you don't have enough tiles at the start of Metro Day, you pretty much have to do jump rope, and that's slow and sucks. So my solution ended up just being, okay, grab an absurd amount of, uh-oh, that's bad. All right, that's a little bit of time loss, but I'm glad I got the warp. But yeah, my solution basically became grab as many coins as possible in Metro Night. And it makes the movement really awkward. That's why I fell there. But it's the methodology. And I mean, hey, now it's gonna be even easier to have enough coins because I am running through the start again. So let's just do this and this. That was close. It was close, but we are at the beginning of the kingdom, so it wasn't as bad as you might think. All right, so we got our first coin tile. Just gotta get one more. Yeah, you can, as you can probably tell, a lot of this movement is really awkward because of how many just coins I need to pick up. All right, because the moon's not at the top, I'm actually gonna go this way because it lets me get more coins. And then we're gonna go up here. There are tons of little guys over here that drop coins. We have enough tiles, but just in case, I'm gonna grab the life up here. This is why I grabbed the life up part earlier, because that's 10 coins, and 10 coins is helpful. Like, I could probably be slightly more aggressive with how many coins I'm skipping, but with how long Metro Kingdom is and how many tiles you need, it's just not worth it trying to squeeze out just a little bit more coin optimization when it's so easy to miss random coins throughout the kingdom. But yeah, as soon as we finish this fight, that's where the real Tile Man challenge in Metro Kingdom is going to begin. I think this is actually the first kingdom I have to grab more moons than the 20 requirement. And it's just because moons are only 1 tile here. It sucks. It's painful. Amethyst went all out with how hard she decided to make Metro Kingdom, and it definitely shows because it took me way longer than any kingdom to make a route here. It's tough, but I'm very proud of what I came up with still. So that's still fun. Okay, I'm really gonna need to pay attention to my notes here. It's funny, one of the things in my notes just says collect coins whenever possible. Like, past me was not messing around. So grab those purples. Oh, oops, I screwed up the trick. This is so sad. Grab those purples, grab this moon. We are up to 8 tiles. And 8 tiles is basically the perfect number because it's gonna let us basically just roll straight through the center of the kingdom on our way towards Colony. We don't have to take a detour to jump rope or anything like that, which would be very slow because jump rope's an insanely slow moon. We just get to do like decent sub areas that have a good return on moons, so you make a lot of profit in terms of tiles, and they like aren't really out of the way. So part of the reason I love having this sub area in the route is because if I do this, there's just a ton of coins in the ground here. I'm gonna grab this heart just to make things a little safer. There are just a ton of coins in the ground on these invisible platforms like that, and coins are tiles. So we get 2 moons, which is 2 tiles. We also get a ton of extra coins, which also equates to more tiles in the long run. Okay, we're just gonna drive the taxi out. And then there is another moon right here that I'm gonna grab. If this was just a moon on its own, I would not be doing this tile because 1 moon is 1 tile. So it doesn't make sense to go out of your way to open up a tile for 1 moon unless there's more in that tile or you'll need it later, which matters for the festival because we need a ton of tiles open for the festival. And the reason this tile is handy is because there are purple coins on top of this building. So it makes it worth it to open it because in spite of 6 tiles being a lot, we need a lot of tiles in this kingdom. So we are not tile rich right now. So if I can make a profit somewhere on tiles by opening up a spot, it's worth it as long as it doesn't take too much time. So now we have enough to get to Pauline. So we're going to talk to Pauline, and then we're going to go over and talk to the drummer. Technically, we need to open the tile the drummer is in later, but we can't afford it right now. So we talk to the drummer through the wall. So next we're going to the dinosaur room. This room is incredible because it shares a tile with one of the musicians, and the musicians are required to beat the story, and it has 6 purples in it. So when it comes to a tile being useful in Metro Kingdom, this is about like as good as it gets. Well, excluding like 1 tile we're about to buy to that's coming up. Because believe it or not, I still don't have anywhere near as many tiles as I need. I think of the route, again, we have to grab like 27 moons to even get where I need to go to get everything. So we're opening up this tile. This will let us get into the sewer later, which is a story section. And then we're going to open up this tile like this, because that'll let me get another moon later. Now, the reason this spot is useful, it's like kind of out of the way, but if I go through this sub area and another sub area that the exit of this room will lead me to, we're just able to get 4 moons, 3 purples, and some coins. That just makes it worth going out of the way for these. Like, as I was saying before, in most kingdoms, you just don't want to go out of the way at all because it's a waste of time. But in Metro, you need so many tiles to get all these musicians, to get through the entire festival and all this other stuff. You need to go out of your way to these spots that just give you a ton of extra tiles. Like spots that are worth more tiles than they cost because you just flat out need them to beat the kingdom. All right, let's see if I've still got it. You can like do a little cycle skip here. Still got it. That's not hard at all, but it feels good. And now I warp back to City Hall. Something else I should note, in Metro Night, all the checkpoints were removed to make sure you can't cheat in Day Metro, which is a shame because I definitely would have cheated if Amethyst let me. First thing I gotta do, I gotta climb up this tower, and we're gonna long jump over here to get a moon. And now I'm gonna try and trick jump around this tile on my left to make it to the musician. This is really annoying because if Cappy... Oh, my controller like lagged there. If Cappy hits any of the tiles, he comes right back to you, and that makes it harder to cap bounce and other stuff like that. So I'm very glad I got that because I mess that up all the time. It's annoying. Okay, now that we have 9 tiles, it's time to come over here. We're basically opening up a ton of tiles that will let me get tiles back, as well as eventually be useful in the festival. So this tile right here eventually shows up in the festival. I need to have it unlocked to beat the kingdom. So we get it now so that I can get coins and stuff out of it. Oh, that's a weird bonk. That's a new one. Good thing we can warp. So we're gonna unlock this. because it's used in the festival, and this because it's used in the festival. But these purples here are not available during the festival, so it's better to do now. And then we grab these purples and these purples because they're in tiles we've unlocked, and we need 1 billion tiles in Metro Kingdom. And now we can go down to the sewer sub area and get 2 more moons for more tiles. You need so many tiles in this kingdom. It's insane. It is very much the like farming kingdom, I guess. We have to farm for tiles here in the most optimized way possible. All right, so now that we've got both those moons, we're gonna warp out to Main Street. Now we're gonna do Scooter Clip to get the RC car moon. And then after that, we're gonna buy 2 tiles to get the next musician. All right, so we're finally getting quite close to the end of this kingdom. And part of the reason routing Metro Kingdom is so annoying, like, it's not just the fact that you need so many tiles, it's that some musicians, like the one I'm about to get now, literally need you to spend, I think, 6 tiles. This is 3, 4, yeah, 6 tiles without getting any tiles back. Like, there's nothing valuable on any of these tiles until you can actually collect hidden in the scrap in the musician itself, which again, we can just talk to this guy through the wall. We don't have to unlock the tile he's on. It's awesome. But yeah, there's just so many little parts about this kingdom that are so annoying because stuff is just so out of the way. So now we're at the part of the story where we get to go through the sewer. Not every sub area has tiles in it, but this one does. And that means I have to do another really hard clip. So this is a sewer pipe clip. It sucks. It's one of those clips that people hate. It's very weird. It'll probably take me a couple tries to get it here. Sometimes I get it right away. Other times the game hates me. There we go. All right. That saves like 2 tiles. It's 2 or 3. And the tiles it saves me from getting have like 0 benefit, which is why it's so important to do that. So at this point, I have collected every moon I should need, excluding like the festival story moon, but that like doesn't matter. So I should be able to go in the festival and collect enough coins during it to, I think, get 2 more tiles. It's 1 or 2 more tiles during it, which will let me beat it. And you're gonna see as I'm going through it, how much getting those tiles unlocked earlier mattered. Because there's just gonna be tons of bits of the festival that are just already unlocked because we went out of our way to unlock them. Like, look at all that over there already. Thought went into these decisions and it pays off. I'm gonna damage boost here because this gives more coins. Well, actually, I wasn't supposed to do that. That was wrong, but I should still be fine because this heart doesn't give me 5 coins anymore. But from the looks of it, I am way ahead of pace with coins. Because, yeah, I just need 1 more tile. This is one of the most annoying spots Amethyst put a wall, by the way. Why the heck do I have to jump in the fire to open it up? It's messed up. All right. So during this fall section, we're going to get a ton of coins, and it's going to put me in just the right spot to, even if I miss some, because we, again, got a lot of extras, to get the last tile we need to finish the kingdom. An absolutely ridiculous kingdom to figure out for the Tile Man speedrun, but I'm pretty happy with what I came up with. I think I did a good job. Like, it's not perfect because you can tell I got a lot of extra coins, but I'm just not risking it. If you don't have enough coins in festival, you lose so much time. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Especially when we're doing so well. I don't want to take that risk. All right, we are going to be very far ahead now. 2 hours and 29 minutes ahead of my first time ever doing this. What was that guy doing? So after Metro, I'm very thankful for Snow because Snow ends up being a much simpler kingdom. We basically just grab some purples at the start, go into Shiveria, and then everything is super self-explanatory because we get to clip inside the race room and skip a lot of the story. So let's get in. Dropping into Shiveria, a few purples at the start, pretty nice. That gives 2 tiles. Some moon right at the start gives more tiles. And then I basically just take a very normal route through the center of Shiveria, collecting a couple moons. We open this tile, and then we open this tile, and we get to do a little triple jump up here, which is something I actually didn't know. Oops. I didn't know this was possible. I had no idea that was something you could do, but now I do. It's kind of nice. because it's a very cheap way to get that moon. And we need this tile anyways, because we get to do a little clip here. Dang, I wanted to get a first try. This is another very annoying clip. Oh, hey, I got a second try. Okay, cool. Things just keep going well. There's like no tiles down here if we go this way. I like literally don't need to go out of my way to get anything anymore, because once we beat the race, I will get like 6 tiles, and then I can just grab a few easy moons in the overworld. So for the race, if you saw the original video, you know how this goes. I mean, there's a ton of tiles, but they're all free. It might be possible to win this race on the first try, but it's not very realistic, because usually one of them makes it through a tile while you're too far away. Because like, again, the wall for the tile does not exist unless you are close enough to it. So it's like impossible to win. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna do 1 lap of the race, open up just enough tiles to be able to like go fast, and then we're gonna restart. All right, retry. But yeah, since all the tiles stay opened, it gets to just be mostly normal. It's always a little weird though, like, oops. But the race is pretty easy, opened this much, so I'm not worried about losing. It's definitely not going to be a fast bound bull race though, that's for sure. You can usually do this in like 50 seconds or less. It's gonna take me like over a minute probably. Okay, well maybe not over a minute, but closer to a minute. Okay, I see all of you guessing in the chat. Maybe one of you will get it. Based on the time, though, I don't think you are. It did, in fact, take over a minute. Oops. My bad. Okay, so now that I have, like, 11 tiles, nothing matters. And there's a lot of really fast moons in the overworld. So we're just gonna grab a couple of those. We are gonna go for Snowdram. If I mess it up, it will be embarrassing. And then there's also a backup moon. So we'll see what happens. Thank God I didn't embarrass myself. Thank God. Anyways, we're gonna go get the rabbit moon over here. This does the same funny thing it does earlier where the rabbit gets stuck on the wall. And then we're going to grab the fishing moon. There we go. Yeah. Okay, it looks like we saved about another 30 minutes. It seems like on average, knowing what I'm doing saves about 30 minutes over what I did casually. And I think that's kind of funny. And now we're going to Seaside Kingdom. Seaside's annoying for the same reason that Metro's annoying. You have these 4 spots you need to go to in 4 completely different parts of the kingdom, which means you need to open up a ton of tiles. And then you get to top it all off with a boss fight that goes around the entire kingdom. So, needless to say, I gotta go out of my way to get extra moons and coins and open up a lot of tiles here. Fortunately, moons are actually worth 2 tiles here, unlike Metro Kingdom. So it could have been worse. Could have been much worse. We're just unlocking tiles on our way to... Oh, wait, I need this. On our way to Rocket sub-area, because that's just a tile with a lot of... It's just a sub-area with a lot of moons and coins in it. And there are a lot of moons on the way to it. So it's just what I decided was the most worthwhile start for the kingdom. All right. Now we go into the sub-area. And we can just get coins and moons. Oh, oops, I missed some. That should actually... Okay, well, it should be fine, but coins are a little tight on this kingdom. There is a backup if I don't have enough coins, but it's... I'd rather not do, like, the backup, right? I'd rather just get coins and have things work out. All right. Now that we've done that, we're going to warp back to the Odyssey, and we're going to finally start clearing tiles to get story moons and space that needs to be open for the boss fight. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're just going to open up this massive path through the center of the kingdom. On the way, there are some purples, and there is this moon as well. There's technically a clip you could do here with the Cheep, but it shouldn't actually save tiles, just time, so I haven't been stressing about learning it. More coins for free. Love that. All right, now we're gonna open up tiles over this way. This is on our way to the like little lava island over there, and we're opening them up this way just so I can keep getting moons along the way, and coins. Very convenient. There's a lot of coins in here. I'm gonna uncapture real quick because I think it's better to uncapture and open this tile now so I can stay in the Cheep Cheep for longer. I know I've mentioned it already, but underwater sections are so annoying because you can't open tiles with the Cheep Cheep. And like, you obviously don't want to spam uncapture the Cheep Cheep, but you also don't want to necessarily just swim everywhere as Mario either, because that's slow. All right, so this gets us to the story moon, but I need to open up a couple more tiles to get some purple coins. Now we're gonna open up this tile because we need to press the button, and then this tile for the boss fight later. All right, and now that we've done all that, it is time to take a Gushin back to the Odyssey. We need this to get our next story moon, but we don't want to waste tiles by unlocking a closer Gushin. So we can drive this up, and then we can get the story moon and the ground pound spot. And basically now, because we have a ton of tiles, I am going to take a very direct route, unlocking a ton of tiles that will be useful for the boss fight and for getting the last 2 story moons I need. So we're going to go back over here, make sure I am lined up with that tower, and start opening stuff up. So I'm gonna open up 1 extra tile here because this is just really useful for the boss fight. When I tried to do the boss fight without unlocking that tile, everything sucked, and sometimes Mollusk would get stuck and I didn't know why. So I just opened that one now. Unfortunately, I am down like 5 coins. Oops, so I have to grab these purples. The solution there might just be to like grab less coins and always get those purples, but that's a complicated thing to decide when grabbing less coins can mean you don't get tiles when you need them to. Either way, it doesn't lose too much time to have grabbed those extra coins or get those purples. Oh, please, please, please. Okay. And now that we have grabbed all of these tiles, I can fly directly here. Anyways, I'm gonna do the boss fight now. I've opened up basically everything I need to for this to be possible, but Mollusk is weird, and sometimes I have to open up extra tiles to actually make sure Mollusk moves to the places I need him to move. Oh wait, oops, I almost did this wrong. So this is where we get our second hit. Ah, that's awful. Guys, the worst case scenario might have happened. All right, I'm gonna just open this, and then I'm going to get Mollusk on a later cycle. So I missed 1 hit there, and basically what that means is I gotta bait Mollusk over here and get the hit there instead, which should happen if I sit right here. Yeah, you're coming now. So now I can get that hit. Man, I was only like 3 things behind. Can I still get the hit here? I actually don't know. I can. So normally what would happen now is Mollusk would clip through that rock, but he's taking a completely different route because of how late I hit him. But this should still be fine. He'll travel back that way, and I'll be able to get the last hit. Pretty big time loss, but this fight is something else in Tile Man, so I'm just glad I was able to recover. It all worked out in the end, and I am still saving time. 3 hours and 10 minutes ahead. Feel pretty good about that. All right, Luncheon Kingdom. Luncheon is weird because in Tile Man, moons are worth 1.5 tiles. And that makes it harder. So at the start, basically only 1 option. Grab the purples behind the Odyssey, do the timer challenge, grab the purples over here, open this moon. Let's jump up. Grab the moon. And then we're gonna grab the last purple down here I was missing, and then get a ton of coins. This is basically just another instance of grab every coin possible because it just makes things work. Things are pretty like dry until you get past Spewert, so just gotta grab everything you can, which even includes these. Now from this point on, things should get easier. I do need to make sure I'm grabbing coins during the Spewert fight though, because if I can't open the tile the moon is on, I am soft locked once it spawns. And that's not great. Or that being soft lock is bad for a run. It is, it is. First thing we're gonna do now that we've beaten Spewert, going into this sub area. We are not doing the entire sub area because the moon shards are slow and Amethyst is evil and put a tile in here. Most sub areas don't have tiles. This one does because Amethyst is mean to me. Sort of for the same reason as Metric Kingdom, we're going to open up tiles this way because they will matter later in the story. And that coin stack does not show up later. So it's just worth it to get now because then we have more access to tiles. And now we get to make our way around town. We're going to specifically be buying tiles so that we are really only opening stuff that is beneficial on our way to the second story moon. Because like this tile has a moon. The tile next to it had purples and enables us to get the turnip moon. And this tile will also unlock the Is This an Ingredient 2 moon. It's just like everything we need to get. And like things are going so well here that we don't even need to bother to go in the shop and get that moon because it's slow. We're gonna make our way over here. I hate that spiny. They always hit me. And then we're gonna open up the story moon and capture the hammer bro. We don't technically like need those purples, but they're nice to have because they're essentially free. And now from this point onward, we're pretty much in the clear. We have everything we need to make it up to the meat. Originally, this tile right here, I was skipping with a little trick jump, but I open it now to grab this checkpoint so we can warp later. And the main reason we're warping is because for some reason, after grabbing this story moon, the next tile we unlock will crash the game. Crashing the game is slow, and if you warp, the game doesn't crash. So yeah, that's why the warp is routed in. Top 10 fur quotes, crashing is quite slow. I mean, am I wrong? But yeah, at this point, after getting that story moon, we have pretty much more tiles than we could ever need. So it doesn't exactly matter if I open stuff. I can be a little reckless with it. I'm not gonna be like crazy reckless just because like the more tiles I'm able to unlock in the upcoming boss fight, the easier it is, the less likely things can go wrong. But I don't like desperately need tiles at this point. What we need to do now is work our way up towards the boss fight. It is easier if I unlock this tile now, because then I can do the good old-fashioned trick jump up here, which saves a ton of tiles. And it's the main reason why tiles at this point aren't really a concern. And now we have made it. We have 3 tiles to spare. Really, we only need 1 for the boss, but you will notice that it's a lot easier if I have 3. Oops, I screwed that up. I'm used to Kukateel going right at the start there. I don't know why it went the other way. But yeah, if you have those extra tiles, it's easier. You don't need them, but it helps. Especially since you like basically get them for free. Okay, pretty good luncheon. All right. And just like that, all 18 moons we need to leave, going to Ruined. Sub 2 hour, y'all think? No, it's not gonna be sub 2 hour. It's not gonna be anywhere near sub 2 hour. Think of it this way, in a normal any % run, Bowser's is like 8-7 minutes, something like that. So in a Tile Man speed run, you're not gonna go that fast. Sub 3 for sure, I hope so. All right, Ruined Kingdom. One we don't really need to do anything special for. There's like some coins in the fight that we have to grab to get tiles. But it's kind of like, oh, as long as we make the L shape and grab the coins, we're in a pretty good position. All right. We have all the tiles unlocked that we need to finish the fight now. So the rest of it is just standing back in this L so that all of these lightning wheels can't hit me and just waiting it out. It's very awkward trying to jump on the dragon from this angle, though. I'm not used to it. All right, that's 2 hits. You can really see the walls only existing when they're close to me in full effect here. All right, last phase. And just like that, Ruin's done. Bowser's Kingdom. I've changed the route a lot in this one. I keep going back and forth on like exactly which purples and moons I should be grabbing. So I might get a little confused and grab extras, but the general premise of this kingdom is you follow the linear path the game sets and just grab as much as you can along the way. So like right here, open this tile, get the purples. Open some tiles, and then just again, collect everything you can. Yeah, I don't think Bowser's ends up being as interesting as a lot of the other kingdoms, but I still think it's neat, especially the boss fight at the end. I love doing the mech boss fight with only like 2 tiles unlocked because I think it's funny, and it also makes it faster, which you'll see why when we get there. Basically, all the like extra coins and purples we're grabbing at this point is to make sure a few specific sections in the kingdom are doable. Because in Bowser's, there's often like a long stretch of like bridge or something that's meant to be cinematic in the base game, but in a run like this just equates to, oh, I need to grab like 10 tiles. This is one of those sections. There's like some purples and moons and coins we can pick up, but we end up needing so many tiles just to get everything here that we need. It ends up being pretty annoying. Especially this part, getting up here with the Pokio without having all the different things you would normally have opened is tedious, especially when the Pokio doesn't want to go up. You need to go down and get these purples. Oops, that was scary. I almost fell. But yeah, because of how the moon shards are spread out, you just have to open up so much of these tiles. You just can't really skip any of them. On the bright side, this last moon shard is a tile with its own moon in it, which is always nice in a kingdom where you need to get a ton of extra stuff. I do need to go out of my way to grab these purples, which I can grab like that, which is nice. Shout outs to the Pokio beak being long. Now we open up this for a moon. The moon is just like right there, and we still need more tiles. And it's gonna be, I feel like, kind of obvious in the like Harriet Topper section coming up, mainly because there are so many tiles you have to unlock over there that give you absolutely nothing in return. It's pretty awful. So I actually have to go out of my way to grab the shot moon and the purples and the 2 extra Jizo moons on this island just so I can have enough to get through that next section. It's like hecked up. All right, grab that. Keep going. But yeah, as you can see here, just a ton of tiles that I have to unlock that don't really give me anything in return. It's not very nice. The annoying thing is we do want to grab a lot of these coins during the Speedrun fight, but they are hard to grab without losing time. Fortunately, it's much easier to grab the coins during Harriet. Speedrun is not here. Well, maybe I wish Speedrun was here. Have you ever considered that? All right. That is the last story moon before we reach Mecha Brutal. There are a lot of like possible moons and purple coins to grab on the way up. Some suck more than others, so I think I'm gonna do the ones that suck slightly less. Because this moon right here is like not necessarily the fastest, but the one that's faster is really, really annoying. And I don't want to die and lose time that way. At this point, all I should need to do is grab basically every purple climbing up this section, and I should have enough tiles. And if I don't, because I'm low on coins, then oops. Oh, what did I miss? Wait, no, I did make it. Okay. I counted wrong for a second. I was freaking out. All right, you might be thinking like, oh no, you need more moons to get into the fight. You need more tiles. Nope, I can still get this one. I can still get the nose. And now we should have the perfect amount of tiles to get through the kingdom. Yeah. Because you only need to open up 1 tile during the Bowser fight. And it gets really weird and like a little glitchy because this is not a giant space for the mech to be in. But I think that's what makes it a fun, silly fight in Tile, man. Like, this is not normally how you do top or second. And then because the arena is smaller, oh, oops. Oh, no, I didn't fall. I didn't fall. Sorry, this is just so... Oh, I fell. I'm sorry. This is just so awkward to do. It's like so broken. Time loss. Yeah. That only loses a little bit of time, but I'm still sad I fell. I'm still sad I messed up. And then we get you. And one last hit. Just like that. Washed for only a little washed. In my defense, the fight gets pretty awkward when you're doing it with that small arena. All right, we have one kingdom left, and it looks like I only saved 10 minutes, which makes sense. There's not a lot you can do in Bowser's over like a casual playthrough. But now it's time for Moon. Moon, not very hard. Unless you die and escape, which is what I did casually. That loses minutes. So, gonna try and avoid that, but we'll see how it goes. Other than that, the gimmick in Moon Kingdom is basically just the amount of tiles, moons, purples, and coins give you is supercharged. So you get quite tile wealthy. But at the same time, even with the post-game moons being available in Moon Kingdom now, which is something the challenge changes, you still just need a ton of tiles. So on my way into Moon Cave, I'm basically just gonna be grabbing everything I can, because that'll make my life in Moon Cave easier, especially because there are tiles that you can accidentally open in Moon Cave, which is obviously not ideal. So we want a little bit of flexibility here. Why no Banku skip? Good question. The answer is Amethyst is mean and patched it out. As it turns out, when you put a lot of work into a cool challenge and there's like easy skips and speed runs, you don't want the player to skip the cool thing you made. We are gonna open up the area to the Sphinx now because there's a moon in there and moons give tons of tiles, and that should give us all the flexibility we need, hopefully, to make it through Moon Cave relatively quickly. I think I have more tiles than I normally would. Usually I think I am bad about getting every coin, and I don't... Oh, that was terrifying. That was not supposed to be a down throw. And I don't really think I've done that this time. That being said, this tile is still the most annoying thing in the world. It is the whole reason I grabbed that checkpoint. It's very easy to die there. Yeah, I might actually have more tiles than I need. I should pretty much be good now. We're gonna grab these purples, and I am also going to grab one more moon. But beyond that, we should be pretty good. While I do have some leeway here, especially since I've been so good about collecting coins, I'd really rather not mess up. Having to backtrack in this sucks, like a lot. I technically don't need this platform, but I'm bringing it just in case. Yeah, we should be more than good. This platform we actually do need though, or at least it's fast enough to take, because a lot of these tiles you cannot open quickly without the platform. All right, normally I would grab those purples, but I shouldn't need them. I'm like, I don't actually know how many tiles I'm ahead, but I am ahead. All right, so Bonsai Bills have this fun thing where they can open tiles for free. I'd look away from the screen for a sec if you can't handle flashing lights. But yeah, because Bonsai Bills can open tiles for free, we can abuse this Bonsai Bill to fly straight to the end of Moon Cave. There we go. That can be a little tight at the end, because if you mess this up, you die or have to warp out of Moon Cave, and both of those are pretty awful. All right, so this Madam Brood fight, generally easier than the other one. I'm going to open up a tile here just to make my life easier. And I mean, we need it eventually, so... But yeah, as long as I'm grabbing most of these coins, I should be good. All right, and there we go. And with that in the coin stack outside, I should have enough tiles to get straight to the church. And then if I am down tiles at all, there's the moon inside. Yeah, should. Keyword should. I am a little nervous, but yeah, I think 5 tiles is what you need. And we have 6. I'm grabbing that checkpoint in case I die during escape so that I don't have to restart the whole kingdom and can close the game. I'm really going to try and not die during escape, but it could happen because escape is really annoying. Yeah, we had 1 extra tile. And then now that we're in here, we can get this moon. And that's enough to get to the Bowser fight. Actually, did I even need to grab this because I had the extra tile? I'm so used to getting to the church with 0 tiles. Okay, yeah, I did need it. All right, we're at the final stretch. The Bowser fight, like in Cloud Kingdom, is normal, but the escape sequence is not. The escape sequence is filled with a ton of tiles that can be opened with Bowser, and it's very awkward and terrifying, but as long as I lock in, it should be fine. I also need to make sure I don't accidentally glitch out of bounds. During practice, that happened once. I had a rock push me through the ground and I died. And that was probably the saddest I've ever been. So if that happens again, I'll be very sad. And we are in escape. Okay. Don't screw up. So be careful. These are the rocks that pushed me out of bounds one time. So I am trying to make sure they don't fall on me so it doesn't happen again. But yeah, as you can see, we have a ton of tiles, and 1 coin is 1 tile. You get a ton of them. But the terrifying thing is these falling platforms and having to unlock tiles still. It's incredibly stressful, but it should be fine. There we go. All right, that's one of the scarier parts. All right. We're going on the left side because there is more space. I really don't want to die. It would be heartbreaking. All right. Scared you there, didn't I? They call that one the fur skip. All right. I'm just trying to farm some coins here a little bit. All right, and now we are almost in the final room. You can definitely do this section like a little faster, but like it's terrifying. Okay, don't screw up. That's all that matters. You know, it would have been really nice if they made it so I could open tiles with fire, but I can't. All right, I'm taking this so slowly, man. Like, these tiles could have been like a little bit bigger too. Like, what the heck? How do I want to do this? Let's go this way, and then I will go around like that. I'm doing this the safest way possible. I'm not doing any fancy jumps. Okay. Definitely could have done that faster, but I have no regrets. I have 0 regrets doing it like that. It is not worth the stress. And with that, we have beaten Mario Odyssey Tile Man in 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 51 seconds. Pretty happy with that, not gonna lie. I didn't actually know how fast it would be because all I did before this was like work on the route in practice. I didn't like figure out the exact times for every kingdom because I wanted it to be a surprise. And yeah, I feel pretty good about that. I feel like I did a pretty good job. 4 hours and 16 minutes faster than that fur guy. Like, what was he doing?